Hello guys, my name is Dmitry from the publishing team. Since the announcement of our first global expansion Vera, we have received a lot of questions from you. And today we're going to cover some of the most common ones. So let's get through. And first of all, let's talk about new location. This expansion will bring players to the heart of Vera itself, once a gorgeous place that today has become a desolate and abandoned desert. Players can explore Vera and discover what happened to the civilization that once lived there. But be careful, because this place is not as abandoned as it seems at first glance. Speaking of the desert, the area has many sceneries and natural phenomena that you would be able to explore through the game. For example, once you've entered a windy area, a sandstorm will certainly follow, disorienting everyone who are caught in it. If you encounter such weather, you should consider seeking shelter until the storm passes. And also, when exploring the desert, you really got to be careful in every step you take. And of course, the desert isn't completely devoid of beauty. So when you first lay your eyes on Oasis, you will forget that you were just in the most dreadful battle against nature. While working on this expansion, we experimented with different visual styles to better sense the atmosphere of the post-apocalypse and wasteland. We tried a lot of different sci-fi styles at the beginning of the design process, and in the end, judging from a visual impact perspective, we think that the concept of a cyberpunk setting works better with the feeling of the post-apocalypse atmosphere and dystopian future. Cyberpunk elements in Vera were inspired by our desire to create a wasteland world different from traditional post-apocalypse style. It eventually determined the core elements of Vera, such as floating city shelter in the desert, like the counterpoint of a wasteland, and technology. We sought inspiration from classic sci-fi movies, and we were heavily inspired by the music of the late 80s, the golden age of cyberpunk genre. So, in the game, we brought a fusion of a classic and electronic music, and you can find it in our new expansion. To make music more dramatic and storytelling at the same time, we were honored to invite the world-known Budapest Art Orchestra to participate in the recording. So, please listen to a piece of this dramatic and beautiful music. That will be easy, because for both new and old players, we prepared an option where you can choose to continue the original Tower Fantasy plot, or skip it right after the tutorial and directly go to Vera expansion. So if you are new to Tower Fantasy, no worries, you can start right from the expansion and go to the original story later if you want. Given that the plot of the expansion will be fundamentally different from what players saw in the original story, do not worry about spoilers. You will face a new story and new characters. Although, of course, the characters from the original story will remain. Mirroria City is a new hub for the players exploring Vera content. Here you can interact with other players, get new quests, receive rewards, and find groups for the events and raids. In Mirroria, players will be able to explore a cool cyberpunk-themed city, while enjoying the awesome views of this place. So, as you may expect from any cyberpunk city, there will be a lot of exciting places in Mirroria to visit, such as bars, shops, or even museums. In addition, it is here that you will get to know the main storyline of this expansion. You'll meet new characters, take new quests, and then go on an adventure to the desert. Also, in the city itself, there will be an endgame instance and high-level boss, Puppet Singer. The rewards for defeating will well worth the challenge. So do not forget to bring your friends to fight this boss together. With the Vera expansion release, we will bring into the game tons of new events for everyone to participate in, such as Mirroria Tour, Ultimate Weapon, and many more. Completing the daily events will bring you different valuable rewards, such as Gold Nucleus or Red Nucleus. So let's jump now to some technical questions. Let me assure you that we were taking a super seriously situation with bugs at the launch phase. We have done a huge amount of work to fix all possible bugs and prepare for the launch of the game expansion with all seriousness by carefully checking and fixing all possible bugs. After the expansion launch, we'll continue to monitor the station closely and release bug fixes if necessary. Recently, we released a series of quality of life updates with a series of game performance improvements and bug fixes. So if you need more details, you can find all of the recent patch notes on our Tower Fantasy official website. That is one of the top questions we have received since the game launch. And let me confirm that yes, this feature is coming to Tower Fantasy. Unfortunately, this option will not appear with expansion release, but we will add this feature a little bit later. And right now our developers are actively working on it. We also noticed that for some players, PvP has become an essential part of Tower Fantasy gameplay. They love to challenge other players. So keeping balance in the game is one of our following goals. And let us confirm that we do plan a series of fixes and updates which will heavily affect PvP balance in the game. So please stay tuned and we will reveal more information about that part soon. Well, we are considering such an option, but right now our dev team is heavily focused on bringing to the game the best user experience for PC and mobile players first. And we have a lot of things to do. So I would say it's not the right time for us to switch our attention to other platforms. We are super excited to see a lot of players joining Tower Fantasy every day, but we are also carefully listening to our community, their feedback, preferences and requests. And we have a lot of things to do here. We have a lot in way with making Tower Fantasy one of the best games in its genre. So please stay tuned for more news from us. Do not forget to join us on social media channels at Facebook, Twitter and Discord. And see you around in Vera starting from October 20th. Cheers!